What's up everybody, it's Pablo here, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about project management, specifically the often overlooked financial side of things. We're diving deep into the top 10 budgeting and forecasting mistakes that can absolutely tank your project, especially if you're a small business owner. These are mistakes I've seen way too often, and trust me, they can cost you big time. So if you're ready to level up your project management skills and avoid those costly financial blunders, you're in the right place. Make sure to smash that like button and subscribe so you don't miss out on any future videos just like this one. Now let's get started with mistake number 1. This first mistake is a classic rookie move, and honestly it sets the stage for a whole world of pain down the line. Imagine this. You're starting a new project, maybe it's launching a new product line or developing a killer app. You're pumped, your team is excited, and you jump right into crunching numbers, allocating resources, the whole 9 yards. But, hold on a second. Have you actually defined what success looks like for this project? Without crystal clear objectives, you're basically flying blind. You need specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound objectives, or SMART goals for short. Your budget should be directly aligned with your objectives. Trust me, taking the time to define clear, concrete objectives up front will save you a ton of headaches and prevent costly scope creep down the line. Alright, let's move on to mistake number 2, and it's a big one. Ignoring historical data. Every project you complete generates a goldmine of valuable data. This historical data is your secret weapon when it comes to accurate budgeting and forecasting. Instead of starting from scratch with every new project, take advantage of the wealth of information you already have. Analyze past budgets, track actual expenses versus your initial projections, and identify any recurring costs or patterns. For example, let's say you're launching a new marketing campaign. By analyzing data from previous campaigns, you can make much more informed decisions about your budget allocation. Remember, data is your friend. Use that historical data to your advantage and watch your budgeting and forecasting accuracy skyrocket. Okay, this next mistake is a real budget killer: underestimation of costs. We get so caught up in the excitement of a new project that we tend to be overly optimistic about expenses. Underestimating costs is like building a house without factoring in the cost of the foundation. Be realistic. Don't just base your budget on wishful thinking. Do your research, get quotes from multiple vendors, and factor in potential price fluctuations. Another crucial tip is to build in a contingency buffer. A good rule of thumb is to set aside 10 to 20% of your total budget as a contingency. By being realistic about costs and building in a contingency buffer, you'll be much better equipped to handle the inevitable surprises that come with any project. Speaking of contingency plans, let's dive deeper into mistake number 4, overlooking their importance. Even with the most meticulous planning, unexpected issues are bound to arise during any project. A contingency plan is your project's safety net. Start by brainstorming potential risks and challenges that could impact your project's budget or timeline. Once you've identified potential risks, prioritize them based on their likelihood and potential impact. For the high-priority risks, develop specific action plans outlining how you'll mitigate their impact. Having these contingency plans in place not only helps you manage risks proactively, but also gives you peace of mind. Remember, hope is not a strategy. Don't wait for disaster to strike before you start thinking about contingency planning. Alright, let's move on to a mistake that can plague projects of all sizes: poor communication. When it comes to budgeting and forecasting, clear and consistent communication is absolutely paramount. Breakdown in communication leads to misunderstandings, errors, and ultimately, budget blowouts. Establish clear lines of communication from the outset. Regularly update stakeholders on budget status, potential risks, and any necessary adjustments. Utilize project management tools or software to centralize communication and keep everyone in the loop. Effective communication fosters collaboration, transparency, and accountability. So break down those silos, encourage open dialogue, and watch your project run much smoother as a result. Alright, let's talk about resource allocation, arguably one of the most challenging aspects of project management. Mistake number 6 is failing to allocate resources effectively, which can lead to bottlenecks, delays, and ultimately budget overruns. Resources encompass everything from your team's time and expertise to physical materials, software, and equipment. Effective resource allocation requires careful planning and prioritization. Before you even start assigning tasks, take stock of all available resources and their associated costs. Then, prioritize tasks based on their importance to the project's overall objectives. Allocate your most valuable resources to those high-priority tasks, and ensure they have the time, tools, and support they need to excel. By carefully planning and prioritizing your resource allocation, you can ensure that your project stays on track and within budget. Alright, we're nearing the home stretch, but this next mistake is a big one. Failing to monitor progress. Creating a detailed budget and forecast is a fantastic first step, but it's only half the battle. The real magic happens when you actively track your progress, compare actuals to projections, and make adjustments along the way. Regularly reviewing your budget and comparing actual expenses to your initial projections allows you to identify potential issues early on. Establish a system for tracking expenses, monitoring key performance indicators, KPIs, and generating regular progress reports. This could be as simple as a weekly spreadsheet review or as sophisticated as a dedicated project management software with real-time dashboards. Stay vigilant, be proactive, and your budget will thank you. Remember, failing to monitor progress is like flying blind. Okay, let's be honest, in today's digital age, there's absolutely no reason to rely solely on spreadsheets for your budgeting and forecasting needs. Spreadsheets have their place, but when it comes to managing complex projects with multiple stakeholders, timelines, and moving parts, they can quickly become unwieldy and prone to errors. This brings us to mistake number 8, not using technology to your advantage. There's a plethora of incredible project management software options available, many of which are either free or very affordable. These tools can automate tedious tasks, centralize communication, provide real-time insights into project progress and budget status, and so much more. These tools not only save you time and headaches, but also significantly reduce the risk of errors that are all too common with manual spreadsheet management. So, if you're still clinging to your trusty spreadsheet for dear life, I challenge you to explore the world of project management software. You might be surprised at how much easier, more efficient, and enjoyable your budgeting and forecasting process can be. We're in the final stretch now, but this next mistake is a classic trap setting unrealistic timeframes. It's tempting to promise the world and commit to aggressive deadlines, but in reality, this often leads to rushed work, compromised quality, and ultimately, budget overruns. When you're under intense time pressure, you're more likely to make mistakes, cut corners, or even overlook important details. So, how can you avoid the trap of unrealistic timeframes? First and foremost, involve your team in the planning process. They're the ones who will be doing the actual work, so they have valuable insights into how long tasks will realistically take. Consider using project management methodologies like Agile or Scrum, which emphasize iterative development and flexibility. These methodologies allow you to break down large projects into smaller, more manageable sprints, making it easier to adapt to changing requirements or unexpected roadblocks. By being honest about limitations, involving your team, and embracing flexibility, you can deliver high-quality work on time and within budget. And finally, we've arrived at our 10th and final mistake to avoid lack of stakeholder involvement. Stakeholders are anyone who has a vested interest in the success of your project. Failing to involve stakeholders throughout the budgeting and forecasting process is a recipe for disaster. To avoid these types of situations, make stakeholder communication a priority from day one. Involve them in the initial budgeting and forecasting discussions, clearly outline assumptions and potential risks, and get their buy-in on the proposed budget. Regularly update them on progress, address any concerns they might have, and be transparent about any necessary adjustments to the budget or timeline. Remember, stakeholders are your partners in success. By keeping them informed, engaged, and aligned with the project's financial goals, you'll foster trust, collaboration, and ultimately, a much smoother project execution. That's it, everyone! We've covered the top 10 budgeting and forecasting mistakes to avoid in project management. Remember, these mistakes can happen to anyone, but by being aware of them and implementing the strategies we've discussed, You can significantly increase your chances of project success. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with your network. Let's spread the knowledge and help each other build amazing things. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more videos on project management, business tips, and financial success. Until next time, keep crushing it.